when we talk about evolutionary purpose, it has little to do with what we do, and it has a lot to do with who we are being. And that is a lot of what you also shared. That's a lot we have in common of who we are as humans, and also more generally as living beings. And there's a lot that connects us in that. And I think this is also on this journey that maybe a lot of you will find yourselves in, of figuring out what's that impulse, what's that drive, what's your sense of purpose also for your life. It's actually really useful. Maybe not so much trying to find a term for it, or a short description or elevator pitch of who you are and what you do, but to observe very closely in your life, what are things that you do and how do you feel when you do them, and who you are while you do those things, and whether they expand you, whether they give you a greater sense of possibility, of joy, and of growth. And I think this can be a really good guidance, not so much trying cognitively to figure out like, what's my purpose, what's my impulse, how do I call it, that funny thing that I feel or don't feel so much, but rather to follow with that movement, to do things that energize you, that expand you, that make you grow. And I think that can be a really good practical guidance. We're really called to be present and to be in relationship with ourselves and with everyone and everything around us. I think this for me is also one of the foundational pieces for evolution. And I think, you know, from that perspective, looking at it, there's even no such thing as evolution. There's just co-evolution. Since we're so interdependent and interconnected, it only makes sense to also understand that our development and growth and expansion is interconnected deeply. So we can only co-evolve, really. And I think this is also, I think for me, conscious evolution is more something that we align with, that we tune into, that we participate in. And it comes from an understanding and mindset of our interconnectedness, instead of an mindset of separate self, of me trying to have some win, some gain, some personal benefit, some control, some power over what happens. I think these are all mindsets and dynamics that we are familiar with, and that we see expressed in many ways by how people create societies and all of that today. But I think this is something that's part of the old game, and the old system and the old paradigm that's in transformation process as we speak. And part of that, you know, shift will be that something completely different emerges. The shift that we're in, I feel, you know, most shifts, they have quite a narrow time frame of happening, you know. When we look at babies, you know, in their mother's womb, they're really gathering resources, they're developing, and there's a narrow time frame from the stage of where they're just developed enough to leave their environment before it's actually too much, and it would impact the health of the mother if they would stay longer. So it's, you know, it's a critical time frame. It's not a really long time frame for that kind of shift to happen. And it's the same also with that kind of famous analogy or metaphor of the caterpillar and the butterfly. You know, the caterpillar also gathers resources, eats, just collecting and assembling all of the different pieces and nutrients and minerals that are needed. And then, you know, becoming the cocoon and developing into a butterfly is just, when it's just about ready enough, but not too long, because then this window of opportunity would be over again. And I think we have a similar thing right now, and I think more and more people are feeling this sense of urgency and of this like delicate timing where we're in at the moment, where we're just about like ready enough to make the shift, but we're also like, we can't really stay much longer in the old game, because otherwise it would be too self-destructive. This evolutionary shift is needed in individuals, but it's also not enough in individuals. because no individual has the capacity to really understand the whole. It's just impossible. It's not a matter of whether you're smart or not. It's just literally impossible. And part of this evolutionary shift is coming together and really integrating and unifying everything that we are individually into a whole that has much greater potential.